Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be giving my personal favourite writing prompts and just tips and advice for beating writer's block when you just can't think about what to write. Okay, so starting off my list at number 1 is listening to music that doesn't have any lyrics. So with this you could pick anything like acoustic, classical, or like covers, quartets and things like that do covers without the lyrics. So anything like that, just find a piece of music that speaks to you and try and write not the song lyrics, but what is it making you feel, like what emotions is it making you feel. I did a writing piece on this on, I'm not going to pronounce the name correctly because I always say it wrong. Is it Ludovico Einaudi? I want to go with that. Definitely pronounced it wrong, so apologies to anyone who knows how to pronounce it correctly. And it was just a really good way to get my mind focused, get myself in an emotion, because especially if you write things like poetry, sometimes getting in the emotion is the difficult part, so it helps get me into the emotion. So yeah, that's tip number 1, which takes us straight to tip number 2, which is listen to music but with lyrics. What you're going to do is you're going to go on your favourite playlist, or a random playlist if you want to completely throw yourself into the deep end, and you're going to find a random song. So you're going to put on shuffle, find a random song, one that hopefully you don't know the next lot of lyrics to, because you may find it harder if you have the tune in your head, and you're going to use the very first line as a line within your poetry. So that could be your first line, that could be a middle line, it could be your last line. Wherever you want to use it, you're going to use that as your starting point, and that's kind of your writing prompt for that piece. Now for me, quite often it's easier to use them as the first line, just because obviously with songs it's already been written as the first line, so clearly it will lead into something, it will already be structured in a way that it opens itself up to that, but you can throw it around and do it however you want. Just give it a go and see what you come up with. So tip number 3 is very similar again to the picking a random song, but instead you're going to turn to your bookshelf, you're going to pick a random book, a random page, a random line, and you're going to use that line again somewhere in your writing. This is a lot better if you're looking to more write fiction and you need something to help you with a fictional piece, just to get you writing. A lot of these tips may not help with the piece you're currently working on, but it'll get you writing, which will ultimately hopefully then help get yourself into that creative space to then be able to carry on writing the thing that you're writing already. No? But yeah, so if you pick a random line, use that wherever, very similar to the song lyrics. So tip number 4 is actually this poetry book by Kate Clancy called How to Grow Your Own Poem. I love this book, I fully recommend it. It just has so many writing prompts, writing examples, poems to write a response to or in a similar style. It's got so many tips and tricks in here. 100% if you frequently get writer's block and you need advice and you're a poet, pick this up, give it a flick through, even if you find it in a bookshop, and have a look in a bookshop first to see if it's something that you think will help. I fully recommend at least having a look at it, because it really is a useful guide prompt to have around. Okay, so my 5th tip is to head over to Reddit and go to r/writing prompts, or r/writing prompts I think I should say. It's a great community where people daily share loads and loads of writing prompt ideas, and they share them in different ways, so depending on what kind of writing you're looking to go for, you will probably find a prompt. A lot of them open themselves up for stories, so if you're more of a story writer, there's a lot that help with that. But they have things like simple prompts, so that opens itself up really well to poetry. Constrained writing, where you might have a certain limit on what you're allowed to do. So for instance, you're not allowed to use, I don't know, the letter Y, and you have to write an entire piece of poetry or an entire story without using that letter. Established universe, so if you want to find something, say you want to write for Marvel and you want to write a Marvel piece, you'll probably find a prompt for that. So it has loads and loads of different prompts, and I absolutely love scrolling through them. I'll screenshot them on my phone to come back to months and weeks later. I'll write and reply to them there and then. I think that it's just a really great way, and some people have even had books and series of books published from using our writing prompts, so it's 100% recommended. And my 6th tip is just write. Simple as that, just write. It sounds a little bit well, you've got writer's block, how can you just write? Literally write about anything. Write about the colour of your bedroom, write about, I don't know, what you had for dinner. Literally just write anything you can think of, just write about it. And as you're writing, you'll probably get yourself to a point where you start actually formulating it into some kind of structure. If, for instance, you're writing for a story and you've got to a point where you've hit a brick wall, just write as though you're one of the characters. What are they thinking? And just, it won't make sense at first. It won't be great at first. It's not going to be something that you can just straight away use. You're going to have to edit it, but it will get you a starting point. My 7th tip is to write about the mundane. And what I mean by that is think of a task or an activity where it's really boring, like putting the shopping away or, I don't know, taking the bins out, and write it in as much detail as you can. Describe every part of it. Try and twist it so people don't know that you're writing about taking the rubbish out until the very end. Like, describe every detail. I did this with, I think it was putting the shopping away, and talked about like the door creaking open as the person came in, and you know, scouring for the empty spaces. Every single little thing that you do as you're putting the shopping away, I described in like immaculate detail. I went so into it. So yeah, think about something mundane and just describe it as much detail as you can. Again, just a great way to get yourself writing. Number 8 for me is to go outside, but don't just go outside and stand there. Go for like a walk or something like that. Go outside, go for a walk, but think about your senses. What can you see? What can you smell? Can you smell the damp leaves as you walk along? Can you smell the freshly cut grass from the playing fields nearby, or the manure that's been put on the fields near you? Like, what can you smell? What can you hear? Can you hear the bugs chirp? Do bugs chirp? Can you hear the bugs, you know, making their sounds like the crickets, rubbing their legs together? Can you hear the birds tweeting? Can you hear the traffic on the road? What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you maybe not taste? I mean, if you want to go out and lick things, that's on you. That's not my advice, but you know, thinking about all of your senses. What do things feel like? Touch things if you want to touch them, but again, on your own device. Don't go and hurt yourself or touch anything that's going to hurt you. But you know, what could you imagine the bark to feel like on the tree that you're walking past? And just really picture everything and think about all of the senses and everything that's happening around you. Don't just walk frustrated that you can't write. Walk and take in your surrounding area. So my 9th tip is one that I do like to do, but also don't like to do, and that is to tidy. So for me, I am a lot more sort of creative and ready to create in a tidier space, because like it makes my mind feel less messy if my space around me is less messy. I know some people are the other way around, so if you actually prefer mess, then this tip is going to be terrible for you. But for me, if I tidy, it just makes me feel like I'm in a productive mindset and I'm in a good place. Like right now, I'm filming this video and I'm also baking muffins, because like I like to just coordinate and multitask my productivity, and that's same for being creative. I like to be tidy, I like to be organised, and then I feel more ready to be creative. And my final tip, number 10 to top off the list, is to read. I think the most important thing any writer can do is read other people's work. Obviously, you don't want to completely like steal someone's idea, but if you want people to read your work, you should be reading other people's. See what's out there, see what's popular. Get your mind in the worlds that are around you, created in these books. Read everything and anything, read anything and everything, and especially if you are wanting to, say for instance, get published in children's books, read children's books. If you want to get published in historical fiction, read historical fiction. See what sort of tropes, what sort of like writing styles are already out there, and put your own imprint on it, but also use that wealth of knowledge that is already out there to help inspire your own writing. Okay, so that was my 10 writing prompts, writing tips for if you have writer's block. I hope they were helpful for you. If you have your own ones, let me know, because I'm always looking for new ideas and new ways to inspire my writing, so definitely comment them down below and let me know what you're thinking as well, so that I can try them out. Next week I'm actually going to be doing a Would You Rather book edition. Would You Rather. I'm going to be posting them over on my Twitter, so if anyone wants to be involved in that, make sure you head over. The link will be down in the description, so head over there. I'll probably be putting them up on like Thursday or Friday so that I can film on the Saturday. And if you want to see which one you would pick and see what like the general consensus is, then head over there and it will be on there. Other than that, I think that's about everything. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. It means the world to me. I think we're on about 17 subscribers now, which feel like 3 or 4 videos in, I'm actually really impressed with myself and really happy. So if you like it and you subscribe, you're gonna make me one happy little bean. So I appreciate you all. And that's me done. So cheers and goodbye.